winners. Let the pros show you how to make money. General Manager Al DeMarco, a regular contributor on Fox Sports, MSNBC, and Comcast Sports TV, brings over 25 years of handicapping experience to the table. CEO Steve Budin, the author of Bets, Drugs, and Rock and Roll, is the man responsible for creating the online betting industry. Together, they lead PickNation.com, your #1 source for winners.
Gamblers, and to a certain extent, handicappers, tend to gravitate toward favorites. It's basic human nature, guys. We always want to lay the points, but that betting strategy hasn't paid off the past 3 weeks, as underdogs have gone a combined 27, 13, and 1 against the spread in that span. And as I always say, when the pups are barking like that, only 2 things are happening, and they're both bad news. Gamblers are losing their shirts, and bookmakers are making big, big money. Hi, everyone. I'm Al DeMarco. With me, Steve Budin. And together, we'll be joining you every Sunday and Monday throughout this football season with our pregame show as we break down key games from a gambling perspective. The 4 games we'll be isolating today: Washington, Dallas, the big NFC East showdown; Detroit and Cleveland; New Orleans and Tampa Bay; and your Sunday night clash between Chicago and Philadelphia.
Now, there's a good game.
And weren't we right on the button last week with New England and Indianapolis? Of course, we thought the Patriots would win the game outright, but then Bill Belichick's ridiculous play call there at the end cost us the outright win, but we did get the cover.
One of those things where if they make the first down, he's a genius, he's a GOAT because they didn't. I don't know if it was the wrong play. I know that he obviously thought they couldn't stop Peyton Manning and wanted to end the game right there.
Oh, I thought it was a great call by Belichick because you can't...
Getting a lot of flack now for it. I don't think he should be.
But, you know, the one thing that they're not going to talk about on national TV is how it affected the gamblers who, you know, on this show last week, I told you to go with the Patriots because I thought that they were definitely going to cover the game, which they did, of course. But I also said make a smaller play on the money line because you were getting the Patriots at plus $1.25. Right. Well, Colts won it outright, and that smaller wager on the money line, everybody went down the tubes because of Belichick's play call there.
Never get the opportunity to take points with the Patriots, and you got to do it when you can.
Absolutely, because they're just a great, great underdog play. As a matter of fact, 8-1 their last 9 as a dog. Now, not only are we going to be previewing those 4 games, but a little later in the show, Steve and I will discuss NFL futures, giving you our personal best bets for who will win the NFC, the AFC, the Super Bowl, and NFL MVP honors. Now, we talked about these a couple of weeks back, but now we're going to give you an updated look because the odds are constantly shifting, and a lot of them shift according to what happens on a week-to-week basis as the games play out. Now, before we get started, though, a few more ATS trends for you to digest. Double-digit underdogs, 9, 3, and 1 against the spread the past 3 weeks. And for the season, the Puppies hold a slight edge against the favorites in Vegas, 74, 69, and 1 versus the odds makers. Now, a lot of you will say that's only 5 games above 500, but I say this: anytime the dogs hold any type of edge in Vegas in the NFL season, again, that means the books are making money, and as a former bookmaker,
gamblers are going down.
And you know that for a fact. Road teams, surprisingly, 11 games over 500 this year in the books. And again, who are generally the underdogs? The road teams. 77, 66, and 1 against the spread. And those straight-up winners continue to be money in the bank. They won 11, 3, and 1 against the spread in week number 10. They are 1-17, 26 and 1 at the betting window during the regular season. And again, as we've noted repeatedly throughout this year, if you can pick the straight-up winner of a game, you've got the point spread winner. And how's this one, guys? If you go back to day 1 of the preseason, straight-up winners, preseason and regular season combined, 173 wins, 31 losses, 5 pushes against the spread.
Last time I checked, no bookmakers were going out of business. Obviously, people are having a hard time picking the outright winner.
Exactly, exactly. Now, let's kick it off today with our first game, the NFC showdown between the Redskins and Cowboys in Dallas. Dallas, the big double-digit favorite here. And you remember what I just told you about those double-digit puppies, right? Dallas, of course, last week having their 4-game winning streak snap with the 17-7 loss at Lambeau to the Packers. Meanwhile, the Redskins pulling the upset as the home dog, beating Denver with the second-half rally, 27-17 at home. Which way are you going to go here in this NFC East clash?
You know, betting on Dallas, to me, kind of reminds me of 4 in the morning at the Nugget at the roulette table. Every time I put red, black comes. Every time I put black, red comes. Maybe I'm going to try 0-0 this time. Washington coming off an impressive win at home against the Broncos, but make no mistake about it, in the talent department, the Cowboys win. But you know, Washington always gets up for the Cowboys, and this might as well be their Super Bowl. Now, can the Redskins beat the Dallas Cowboys outright? Not in a million years. But can they cover this double-digit spread? I say it's worth serious consideration. This Cowboys coaching staff, let's be honest, they just don't seem like the type that's been preparing for Washington all week long. And not that I blame them, but it might be a perfect spot here for a sleepy dog like the Skins to bark all the way to the bank. Al, another gambling reference. I'm going to roll the dice here. I'm going to take the points. I know you like the boys, and you're great on the boys, on them and against them, but I'm going to go with Washington here and take the points and see what happens.
Yeah, totally disagree with you here. I think last week Dallas just simply got caught in a letdown situation, coming off the big road upset in the Sunday night game at Philadelphia where they pulled the 23-16 upset, and they took a Green Bay team that had lost the previous week, squandering a second-half lead at Tampa Bay, took the Packers a little too lightly, and you see what happens. And consequently, they had their 4-game winning streak snapped. Now they're back at home where they've won and covered 3 in a row by margins of 14, 16, and 21. And FYI, I had the Cowboys in every single one of those games as a premium play.
Certainly did.
And I'm going to back them here because they are a very good bounce-back team. 9-1 against the spread. Their last 10 coming off a double-digit defeat. They're 11-2 ATS in the first of back-to-back home games in NFC East play, and they've covered 16 of their last 18 as a home chalk in November versus losing teams. And guys, the Redskins are definitely a losing team, so I'm going to back the Cowboys here. So we disagree here. We'll have to see how this one plays out next week.
Redskins are playing desperate right now, so they're going to pull out all the tricks and all the stops. So my worry is that Dallas is up by 17 at the end, and you get that late, no reason at all touchdown that makes it 10 and a cover. That's what I'm looking for.
Okay, next game. Talk about two desperate teams, Detroit and Cleveland. Lions off a 27-10 loss to the Vikings. Now, this is only the second time this season the Lions have been favored. The first time, well, they lost outright to St. Louis 17-10. So maybe that should be some indication of this game. Meanwhile, the Browns are coming off that snoozer of a loss on Monday night, 16-0 at Baltimore. We told you if you were going to play that game, you had to play Baltimore. We also told you last Monday in the show that you had to play the under. Right. Geez, weren't we prophets? You didn't have to pay anyone for that winner. We gave it to you for free. Steve, which way are you going to go in this game? I mean, it's not exactly one that's going to be a marquee attraction on national TV.
Well, this is obviously the most boring game on the card. You're going to have to bet a lot of money on it if you're going to want it to be exciting. Cleveland, I called out Mangini for the mangina he really is. I mean, let's face it, he's just a bad coach. And even though you're always supposed to take the points when two bad teams meet, I just think there's no way you can bet on Cleveland so long as Mangini's calling the shots. Detroit, on the other hand, has quarterback Matt Stafford, who throws twice as many interceptions as he does touchdowns. But hey, whether he's throwing it to his players or the other teams, at least he's completing passes to someone. All kidding aside, Detroit is a team that slightly resembles an NFL squad, and the Browns are worse than an expansion team. I'm going to lay the points here with the Lions, but let's be clear. It's not a game I would recommend watching or playing unless you're a total degenerate and just need the extra action.
And let's just say sometimes we're degenerates, all of us watching this show. I always say, guys, look, you never put good money on bad teams, and we've got 2 of them here. I mean, the Cleveland Browns have 5 offensive touchdowns in their last 15 games. 5. I mean, that's almost unfathomable to think that this team could be that offensively impotent over the past couple of years. I mean, they go back to Brady Quinn on Monday night. It didn't make any difference. 13 of 31, 99 yards, 2 interceptions against Baltimore. This team, no matter whether it's been Brady Quinn or Derek Anderson, a quarterback, has been outgained on the road this year by an average of 426 to 199 in total yards. 2 offensive touchdowns on the road. The short week coming off the Monday Nighter is going to work against them as well. I think in this case, again, if you're going to play Detroit, and believe me, I don't think the Lions are that bad of a play, believe it or not. Not one of my favorites on the board. Again, good money on bad teams, but you buy the Lions down, the half point, and you lay the field goal with Detroit.
Yeah, the play is more against Cleveland for me than it is on Detroit.
Exactly. Listen, guys, we're going to take a short break, and when we return, Steve and I are going to discuss NFL futures, giving you our personal best bets for who's going to win the NFC, the AFC, the Super Bowl, plus NFL MVP honors.